This is my presentation on the positive impacts of cameras. Okay, so the background. Before photography and film came around, people had to use paintings, sculptures, and drawings to remember details about a person. The first iterations of cameras began around the 5th century BC, and was known as the camera obscura, or the dark chamber. It was an enclosed box with a small opening where sunlight passed through. On a nearby wall, it projected images of the outside world. Soon enough, modern cameras started to come in. A man named George Eastman invented the use of photographic film in 1885. He started out by using paper film and later in 1889 switched to celluloid film. In 1888, Eastman put his first camera up for sale known as Kodak. It was made up of a box camera with a fixed focus lens and a single shutter speed. The camera came with enough film for 100 exposures, and once it ran out, it needed to be sent back to the factory for it to be reloaded with more film. Today, we have cameras everywhere. We have them hanging from walls for security, on phones and laptops, and even on doorbells. In the future, I can see this technology going as far as being able to make higher resolution images without photographers or people having to go back and edit it themselves. Yes, I understand that this is kind of already a thing, but I mean it in a way where it is more edited than it already is. And also where photographers are able to just upload their photos directly without having to take out the disk or the drive. I'm taking the stance of a positive impact for economic, social, and environmental reasons. For the economic impacts, focusing on camera operators, television, video, and film in the U.S., you can say that around 20,340 are employed in these industries. When using cameras, you can have jobs like a photographer, camera operator, production coordinator, and much more. You can be anywhere from full-time to part-time, and depending on where you live, it could be a high or low paying. Especially as a photographer, you get to pick exactly how you want everything to go. You can pick who you want to work with, how much you want to work, what days you want to work, and how much you want people to pay. When brands are showing off their products and making ads, they have to use some sort of camera to be able to photograph and film their products. So with the use of a camera, the companies are able to make a lot of sales and promote their products. For the social positive impacts, maybe you could be talking to a friend and you're trying to describe a bird that you just saw walking down the street. You can probably give them a good description of what you saw, but they're most likely not going to envision the exact same thing that you saw. You can then take out your camera and show them the photo, where you'll be able to show exactly what you were talking about. Or maybe you're trying to explain something to your parents that you really want, and they're not getting it, so you just have to show them a picture of it, where hopefully they'll be able to order it for you. You could argue that yes, cameras can make people feel closer together. Maybe you can turn to a wall in your grandma's house, and you'll see photos lined up of your parents and aunts and uncles as kids, slowly growing up to where they are today. Maybe there are even some of their wedding photos, and now photos of you and your cousins. Things like those can really make you feel connected with the rest of your family. Or maybe you could even be in a really crowded space and are afraid that someone might try to take stuff out of your bag without noticing. Luckily, there are security cameras surrounding each corner of the building, and although it might not necessarily make you feel safe, it can make you feel hope that if something were to happen, the criminal would get caught right away. And for the last part, which is environmental impacts, when using a camera, it will barely make any noise at all. The most sound you might hear could be the shutter clicks or turning on and off your camera. Either way, it really does not make a big sound to disturb anyone or anything around you. And also, using a camera directly can't harm or kill humans in any way. Thank you for listening to my presentation.